I was cheated on twice. I'm 30 years old, and my wife and I got married back in 2022, just 3 months after we tied the knot. She cheated on me. This is going to be a long one, so settle in. I've known my wife since 2014, back when we were in high school. We dated for a little under a year before I broke up with her. It was for a stupid, selfish reason, nothing to do with her, more about me just being a dumb kid. We talked about it years later and moved past it. We actually got back together after we'd both graduated. It was a chance meeting at some random stop, but we hit it off like nothing had changed. Fast forward to 2022, and we got married. Now, I've never been the type of guy to snoop through a girlfriend's phone. Never did it. I figured if I couldn't trust her, what was the point of being with her? Nowadays, though, you gotta wonder if that's still the right approach. Anyway, we were at her cousin's wedding a few months after we got married. She got absolutely wasted, drunk enough that I had to carry her back to the hotel. Seriously, a wife shouldn't be acting like that. Like some damn college kid, for Christ's sake. Her phone was blowing up with her family checking on her, so I figured I'd respond for her. That's when I noticed some Discord notifications that seemed pretty odd. I clicked it, and that's when I found out. She'd been talking and sexing with some random dude from a gaming roleplay server. There it was. My stomach dropped. I immediately felt like she was somehow punishing me for breaking up with her back in high school. Like this was some twisted payback. But even as the thought crossed my mind, I knew it was bullshit. This had been going on right after we got married. I was in complete shock. My body started burning, and I couldn't even say anything to her because of how drunk she was. I stayed up almost all night, my mind racing. If I had my shit together, I would have left her ass right then and there. I should have just told her sister or her cousin, "Hey, you can take care of your drunk-ass wife here," because I'm not doing it. The next morning, I woke her up and started drilling her with questions. She was so hungover, she didn't even understand what I was talking about at first. Then she paused, looked at me, and started bawling her eyes out, saying she was so sorry. It's amazing how that always happens, isn't it? As soon as they get caught, the waterworks start. I had no idea why I was doing this. What a steaming pile of crap. She knew exactly what she was doing. I simply told her to pack her things, and we were heading back home. It was a 6-hour car ride, so we had plenty of time to talk. I've always had an incredibly soft heart and never stay mad at anyone for more than a couple hours. So, a couple hours into that drive, it felt like I wasn't even mad anymore. And she promised she would never let it happen again. Smack, you idiot. That's all she got out of this. You yelling at her, making her cry. A couple hours in the car, and boom. What? You got McDonald's on the way home and you're feeling good with your damn Happy Meal. And she's thinking, whoa, free pass. What the hell did I expect? What do you think's going to happen when you do something like that? The cheater thinks, shit, that was easy. All I have to do is cry and maybe give this dumbass a Happy Meal on the way home. And that's it. What do you think she's going to do again? Never do that. Guys, once a cheater, always a cheater. And I might add, we'd only been married 3 months, give or take. I could have gotten an annulment in theory, not been hammered financially, but no, I gave her a second chance. I didn't really ever get over it. Not completely. I checked her phone repeatedly after that. See, now it's stuck in your head all the time. You don't trust her? That's no way to live. She had given me all her logins for her social media. Some time goes by, maybe a year or so, and I got logged out of her Discord. Her password wasn't working anymore. Time out. Why the hell is she on Discord or any of these other platforms that he's not on or a part of? I'm not a confrontational guy, which is a huge fault of mine. And I was really busy with work, so I just left it alone. I told myself it was probably a glitch, or she changed it for some innocent reason, a dumbass mistake. I was trying to focus on my job. I'm a steady professional. My career means a lot to me, and I've always been methodical, valuing stability. I like to plan ahead, financially responsible. I didn't want any drama from home spilling over into my work life. But even with all that focus, the constant low-level hum of distrust was there. It definitely affected my sleep. I was tired more often, and my concentration at work wasn't what it used to be. My colleagues, I'm sure, noticed something was off, but I tried to keep a lid on it. You don't bring your home problems to the office. It's just not how you operate. Then one afternoon, I got on her laptop. I noticed she was still logged into Discord. Uh-oh. Well, once again, she'd been messaging a completely different guy. Gee, what a fucking surprise. She was sending all types of nude pictures and love messages. My heart just felt dead. No burning anger this time. Just a cold, hollow ache. My mind went blank for a second. Then, it was like a switch flipped. I picked up my keys, got in my car, and just left. At this point, I hadn't told anyone about our issues. It was my problem. I thought, my shame, but I needed to talk to someone, needed to make sense of this shit. So, I called the only person I could, one of my closest friends, Mike. Mike's a good dude. He's been through some shit himself, so I knew he wouldn't judge. He just listened. We talked until my wife found me. I just sat in the car while she stood outside, begging me to open the door. Here we go. So, she's thinking, okay, last time I just cried my eyes out, and he got a Happy Meal or whatever it was on the ride home. So, okay, she'll double down on the crying. She'll stand outside the car door on her knees this time. Seriously? For God's sake. Rinse, recycle, repeat. After a while, I opened the door, and she begged me for forgiveness again. We talked, and I told her this was the last time. This was it. Smack. You idiot. What the hell did I think was going to happen? It's been a year since then. I'm more depressed than I've ever been. Yeah, because you were betrayed. You were, come on, man. First time, shame on them. Second time, shame on you. Nobody wants to admit that their loved one would do that to them, and they don't want to be divorced and broken up and all that, and they want to believe them. I'm telling you, this always goes the same way. Her touch feels like acid on my skin. Her words feel hollow to me. Empty promises. I want to love her, want to feel that connection again, but I can't seem to make myself. It's like my body just rejects it. I've been contemplating divorce, but for whatever reason, I'm still worried about her and how things will go for her. Smack. Don't worry about her. Worry about you, because she sure as hell doesn't worry about you. She's worrying about herself and her needs, so there you go. Guys, once a cheater, always a cheater, and I don't think this is going to last at all. We all know she's probably going to cheat again. Probably doing it again already. Probably worse. I don't think this is going to last much longer. Gentlemen, for God's sake, if you're in this situation, and I hope it doesn't happen to you, but it happens quite often, end it. Move on. And if you've been married and it's been a few months, within that time of a year, in most cases, you can get an annulment. He hasn't been married that long, so I would imagine he's not going to get hammered too much. But you never know with legal stuff. Some comments I've seen about my situation, and believe me, the comment section is just full of dude. Really? One guy says, OP, it's clear that this is taking a serious toll on your well-being. The situation is going to continue to damage your mental health. So it's time to consider stepping away for good. Many of us who chose to stay and forgive end up grappling with long-term emotional consequences, including symptoms of PTSD. Yeah, you never sleep with one eye open at that point. Your dignity, boundaries, and mental health must come first. Without them, finding peace and happiness in any part of your life becomes incredibly difficult. It sounds like I'm deeply conflicted, which is completely understandable, and I strongly encourage myself to seek individual counseling to gain clarity and support as I explore my options. Right now, it's important to focus on what is best for me. Her behavior, especially if it echoes past patterns of selflessness, likely will not change. If I decide to move forward with leaving, know that I am not alone. Many of us are here to offer support along the way. Please take steps now before things become even harder to untangle. There were other comments, but I don't need to read them. Anyhow, guys, there you go. It's very unfortunate that people do this shit, but it is what it is. But again, I stand by the fact that, first time, shame on them. Second time, shame on you. If you keep staying with someone that repeatedly hurts you and betrays you, there's a point where, although they're the villain in all this, you gotta take some blame here. That you just keep allowing this shit. So I wish this guy all the best, which is me. I remember thinking after the first time, when she cried and begged, that I was different, that I could fix it, that we could fix it. I ignored those gut feelings because I wanted to believe her. I wanted the fairy tale, the happy ending where my love was enough to change her. That was a huge mistake, believing I was the one who could somehow save her from her own issues. It's a common trap, especially when you have a history with someone. You remember the good times, the easy connection, and you desperately want to get back to that. It clouded my judgment. I was also too worried about the public image. What would people say if we divorced so soon after getting married? The shame, the questions, that played a part. Too, I didn't want to be seen as a failure in my marriage. That traditional provider role, the idea of maintaining a stable home, it was ingrained in me. I felt that pressure to keep it all together, even when it was clearly falling apart. But after the second time, something shifted. It wasn't just anger, it was a deep, bone-weary exhaustion. Her apologies sounded rehearsed. Her tears. A performance. I started seeing her actions for what they truly were. Every, "I'm so sorry." Every, "I don't know why I do this." Every tear. It all felt like a tactic. She'd start conflicts, often about something minor. And then when I'd respond, even calmly, she'd immediately flip it, playing the victim. "Why are you being so controlling? I can have male friends." She'd yell, even after I'd found messages that were clearly more than just friendly. She'd say, "You're supposed to support me, not judge me." It was always about how I was making her feel, never about the fact that she had just betrayed my trust. Again, she'd spend my money freely, acting like it was hers. But she was fiercely protective of her own savings, what little she had. She had these friendships with other men on Discord, but if I so much as liked a picture of an old female classmate on Facebook, it was a huge fight. The double standards were infuriating. Intimacy became a reward or a punishment. If I was acting right, she might be affectionate. If I questioned her or looked at her phone, she'd pull away completely. "You're making me feel unsafe right now," she'd sometimes say, or "That's not who I am anymore," when I'd bring up her past betrayals. But her actions always proved otherwise. I realized I was caught in a pattern. My friends, especially Mike, they saw it. Mike had said to me, "Mandy Chanaran, she's pulling the same shit my ex did. She's got you walking on eggshells." And he was right. I was constantly analyzing her mood, her tone, trying to anticipate the next blow-up, the next lie. It felt like I was living with a stranger, a chameleon who changed colors depending on who she was with, charming in public, a completely different person in private. The physical toll was immense. I couldn't sleep. My appetite was shot. I was tense all the time. My jaw clenched. My shoulders hunched. I was losing weight, and not in a good way. My work performance, which had always been my rock, was suffering. I'd go to work, use it as a refuge from the chaos at home. But even there, I couldn't escape the constant replay of her betrayal in my head. The talk with Mike that second time was a turning point. He just laid it out for me. No bullshit. "Look, man, you're a good dude. You work hard. You're loyal, but she's draining you dry. You're losing yourself here." He reminded me of my own worth, something I had completely forgotten in the haze of her manipulation and my own self-blame. He helped me see the pattern, the cycle of abuse and forgiveness, and how I was enabling it by staying. The concept of self-preservation without apology resonated deeply. It wasn't selfish to protect my assets, my time, my mental health, and my reputation. It was necessary. I realized I had been valuing temporary peace over long-term stability and respect, prioritizing her well-being over my own, feeling guilty for even considering leaving. That was a dangerous road. So here I am, contemplating divorce. It's not an easy decision, especially when you've invested years into a relationship. There are practical logistics, of course, housing, belongings, shared commitments. The financial untangling will be a headache, but the thought of regaining my peace of mind, of not having that constant dread hanging over me, that's becoming more and more appealing. I'm starting to see that clarity through emotional distance. The further I pull away, even mentally, the clearer the picture becomes. I can see how neutral parties, like Mike, viewed the situation even before I could. I'm understanding which beliefs were programmed into me, like the idea that a good man always stays, versus what I authentically believe. I'm starting to make decisions from logic, not guilt or fear. I know I made mistakes. Big ones? Giving her a second chance after the first time was born out of hope, out of a desperate desire for things to go back to how they were. It was also a classic example of thinking I could fix someone. That was my analytical brain trying to logic its way through an emotional problem, giving her the benefit of the doubt far too long. I stayed due to a sunk cost fallacy all the time. The effort, the money I'd already invested, it felt like walking away would mean all of that was wasted. But now I see that staying was the real waste. I'm starting the process of recalibrating my trust. It's hard not to become cynical, but I'm trying to learn from this without letting it poison all future relationships. I'll be better at identifying those red flags I missed, the inconsistencies between words and actions, my gut feeling. I'm trusting that a hell of a lot more now. This isn't just about her, it's about me, about learning to protect myself and value my own well-being. It's about owning my part in allowing this to happen while refusing to be a scapegoat for her shitty behavior. This is the last time I let someone betray me like this. This is the last time I let myself be an idiot.